Hey guys, it has been a few months since the last time I made a vlog, but I really wanted to pick it back up again for a little bit. I figured that the timing was pretty good right now to do so. A quick little recap of where I've been the past few months. First of all, I got married. Oh my gosh, look at this beautiful ring that my husband gave me. Oh my gosh. We had a very simple City Hall ceremony at Newton City Hall, followed by a lunch. We just had our immediate family and friends come over. My parents and my siblings and nieces came up from Florida, and then my husband has a few cousins here in the United States, so they came, and then like some really intimate friends that we usually have over. So again, really small thing. And then the day after the City Hall ceremony, we also had another ceremony, but this time at the mosque. So we did both like the civil and the religious ceremony. And there's still 2 more parties to come. So yeah, I do want to have a bigger thing with my family from Puerto Rico. A lot of family in Florida couldn't come. I have family spread out. My husband has a lot of friends who were not able to come. We just wanted to keep it small because, you know, at the end of the day, we're in the middle of a pandemic. We're still in the pandemic, okay? Oh, and Delta's out there. Delta is not messing around. Anyway, so it was a really nice, safe time. Everyone was fully vaccinated by the time the marriage occurred in late May. And then we had a nice little honeymoon in Cape Cod, just like 2 nights, I think it was. And then while all that was going on, I was still in school. I was in the middle of my spring semester. Remember, my school has like a fall, winter, spring, summer semester. It's a quarter semester system. So yeah, I was still in the middle of classes during that time, which I don't recommend doing that. I don't recommend being in class and getting married at the same time. I feel like that's a stressor that you can avoid. In our case though, we did just want to get married around that time. So I sucked it up. I got through the semester. I got all A's, thank goodness. There was one class that was testing me though. It was testing my patience more. Like the actual content was okay. It was just like this professor got too chill. Anyways, so that has been the past few months in a nutshell. And then right now, one of the main reasons why I wanted to pick up vlogging again for a little bit was because there are even more exciting changes coming up. So my husband and I decided to renew our lease for this apartment, and our landlords finally gave us the green light to do some painting. Honestly, they're probably like really tired of hearing me say, "Can I please paint? Can I please paint?" I guess like they were afraid that I was gonna paint it neon orange or something. I don't know. A part of me understands our landlords and their reluctance to let us make changes around the apartment because, like, one, this area that we're in, it's mostly students, and students don't really take care of their apartments. Not all students, obviously, but a lot of students, okay? But I think the landlords like realized that, hey, we are responsible tenants. They were thrilled that we were gonna renew our lease. So I guess they let us finally paint. And then we also have paint samples for them to look at, because they were like, oh, you can paint, but then you have to change it back to the original color. And it's like, why can't you just green light the colors? It's not like I'm picking neon orange here. When the landlords came over so that we could sign the new lease, they also inspected the paint samples we had chosen. And then I also made them aware of other issues that we're having, which I know we said last year when we got the first time we got the apartment and we made the apartment's condition list, and I guess they decided to ignore it, but now they're gonna do something about it. And it's like, okay, whatever it takes, man. Oh, I have class today. I have class at 7 in the evening. You know how distressing that is to have a class that late? And we have to go in person. 7 o'clock, I'm like, having tea and wrapping up my day and like playing Animal Crossing. I have to be in a classroom. What the heck? But I know this teacher, and odds are he's not gonna hold us until 9:40 in the evening. Thank God. But we'll see. I'm sure he won't. He's straight to the point kind of man. Good teacher, good professor.
Aklıma geldi de benim.
Hey guys, it is Friday. It is a rather steamy Friday. Pretty sure there's a heat wave advisory right now. I haven't checked. I just know that it's going to be up to 91 degrees, which is pretty dang hot. I turned off the AC unit momentarily. I don't like having the AC unit on all day because the noise just kind of drives me crazy, to be honest. But I'll turn it on later when, you know, it gets a little hotter in the day. Yesterday, Thursday, we ran a bunch of errands in the morning. We had picked up some items from IKEA. We ran to Home Goods. We got some things from Whole Foods. We had a friend over for lunch. They are moving to Connecticut, so sad, but we had a nice, lovely lunch for them. And then there was also just like a lot of miscellaneous housekeeping things that I had been putting off, so I finally did all that, and the apartment just feels much well put together than it has in several weeks. Yeah, but obviously there's still a lot to do with the apartment, with the great apartment refresher project of 2021, as I am starting to call it, which includes, you know, the painting of the walls that I had already mentioned. And I think now would be a great time to give you guys the apartment tour. And honestly, by apartment tour, I just mean we're gonna do a walkthrough of the apartment, and I'm just gonna point out things that needs to change. Pretty self-explanatory, right? So if there's any like messes, because there are still some like messes, some clutters everywhere, I will explain all that. So clutters are like embarrassing for me just because like I'm usually a super neat person. I like having a place for things. I like things to look curated. So to have like these random little messes is like, oh my gosh, my brain cannot think with all these messes around. They'll get fixed though. Everything's gonna happen with the great apartment refresher of 2021. Ooh, it's got a ring to it, right? All right, so let's start with our entryway. Our apartment is so cool to have this entryway. It makes things a lot easier. This is a donate to Goodwill pile. I recently did a lot of purging. Another reason for said purge was because my parents had sent me like a bunch of stuff that I had left behind in our home in Florida. So a lot of the stuff that they sent kind of was meant to stay in Florida because I had no intention of ever taking it up again. So there was a lot of stuff to like sort out once they did send everything to me. So this all this will eventually get to Goodwill. We have other boxes here. Here are 2 IKEA boxes. This is stuff that we will build at some point. That is an organizer for this closet. So this is the coat closet. As you can see, I have like a bunch of other stuff in there. So I also store like toilet paper and paper towels in there, but I haven't stored this yet because it's a mess in there. So hopefully this will fix that. I hope we got the correct thing. We got like that guy and, you know, this package looking suspiciously slim. So once I assemble that, hopefully it'll be the right thing and all this will be cleared up. This is a bookcase that we got, and I'll explain that later. And then this is actually a box of my grandmother's china. So first of all, let me explain that my parents like finally moved houses, and with it they had to get rid of a bunch of stuff, hence why they sent me like the rest of my stuff because they just couldn't like store it in the new house. And so the purging on their end caused them to make the decision to let go of my grandmother's china, which they never freaking used. I think I've only seen it like twice in my life. I don't even remember where they had it stored in the kitchen. So it came to me. I decided to take it in, and I still have not unpacked it. So that's gonna be done at some point. So that explains these messes. Then this. So these mirrors, huge mistakes. We ordered them from the IKEA website and picked them up, and then we got them in real life. We're just like, oh, these are plastic. Like, you can tell, like, it's warbly and it's horrible. They look like funhouse mirrors. It's got to go. So we ordered these mirrors. These are real mirrors. And then we also picked up some painter's tape and drywall repair so I can start prepping for painting. And so now let's move on to our living room, dining room, and office area. So I think a good place to start is to show you guys the new paint color that we had picked out. Oh, isn't she pretty? Because we liked the green. The green was honestly not bad, but it was just too dark. So we went for like a sage green, and the landlords approved of it, thank goodness. Like the green here, it's not terrible now because there's like a good amount of light in here, but at the end of the day it does get too dark, and you know, it's summer now, so there's a lot of light, and usually in the winter it was quite the ordeal. I finally got, I'm not sure if you guys remember, but like these shelves were empty because my mom had not sent me my books from my room in Florida. So she finally sent them all, and as you can see, it's pretty full. So what we did was we got these extra shelves. So we're going to, we're just going to rearrange like the placement of the shelves, and then hopefully have some more shelves. So let's see how that goes. I'll probably do that this weekend as well. And then remember the bookcase that I had said we had also picked up from IKEA? Well, that guy is gonna go over here. So it's gonna be like one of those low Billy bookcases. So that's gonna go here. It's gonna also serve as like a side table for this little area here. Oh my God, look at this like huge scratch, right? I don't know how that came to be. And the landlords were just like, oh, you know, that no need for painting, you know. Anyways, so bookcase is gonna go here, so that's gonna help clear out like a bunch of like these bigger books. I'll probably put my Alice in Wonderland collection in that extra shelf as well, and then I got a bunch of magazines that will also go there. Yeah, just lots of like book reorganizing in general. Oh my gosh, that pile, we're ignoring it. So that's the paint color, that's the bookcase situation. So that's nice. Let's move on to, I guess, this haul. Hey, so this was my mother's idea actually. I kind of didn't like the idea of it because I don't feel the need to display my love for my husband in my home. Like I'm just not that type of person, but my mother insisted. We'll most likely have to take everything down and repair the wall because it is a botched job, the hanging of these portraits, as you can tell by the crookedness of this guy right here. This wall will also be painted, thank goodness. There's a bunch of like holes everywhere from previous tenants. Look at that, just dirty walls, holes. Let's move on to the bedroom. So the bedroom, we're gonna paint it this beautiful color. I'll check this out. Yay! So we're excited for that. This is definitely the first room that's gonna be painted. And we also have to do a bunch of repairs. Like, look at that. Like, I don't even need to point them out. You can totally see them. And the landlords, again, like their attitude against painting was like, oh, there's no need. It's not like it's going to affect your way of living, but it's like, guys, it kind of just makes everything look dirty and shabby. So there's another big hole needs to be repaired. That's light reflection. The bedroom is beautiful. It has so many windows, so it get a lot of light, except for this window. It does, because as you can see, there's no stick. right? So upsetting. Oh my god. And these paper blinds are just absolutely filthy. The last time the landlords came here, when they came to approve the paints, they did finally realize that the curtains were like in terrible condition and should probably be replaced. I mean, look at this guy. It's hanging on by freaking tape. So yeah, these guys will be replaced at some point. Yeah, so that's what's going on with the bedroom. Again, like the first room that's being painted. Look at this, just all these scuffs. Like, no matter how nicely I make up the apartment, it's just not gonna look nice at all if there's like crap like this on the walls. So I'm so glad that the landlords finally agreed to let us paint. So then that color will also be going in this hall, so that'll help fix up this hall as well. And then the sage green is also going in the entryway, so that's all gonna be very, very beautiful. And as these light bulbs, right, you see how it like throws orange everywhere and it's just absolutely horrible. I'm gonna have to like replace all the light bulbs in this apartment in secret, because I don't think my husband is going to agree with me wanting to take time and money to replace all the light bulbs with like nice light bulbs that don't freaking throw orange. Oh my god, look at that. It has got to be fixed. There's just so many, again, like no matter how nicely I do the apartment, like stuff like that is always just going to make it look horrible. The bathroom, not much is gonna happen here. I honestly don't mind the yellow that much. It's such a fun color for some reason. What I do need to do is just kind of give it a deeper clean, like maybe finally wipe down the curtain rod, hasn't happened in a while, and probably just wipe down the walls. You know, with bathroom paints, it's like a glossy wall, so all you need to do is like wipe off the dust and it looks good as new. I don't know what's going on with the ceiling though. There's like stuff on the ceiling and I have yet to be able to get rid of it. And then the kitchen, well, unfortunately, the landlords did not approve of any of the color choices. We can ignore that. That was just for funsies. But this was the color that I originally wanted. This was like a backup color, but they weren't quite agreeing with it. So right now, the kitchen painting is just kind of on standby, something in the future to look into. But right now, we'll have our hands pretty full with the rest of the apartment. It's like 3/4 of the apartment that's going to be painted. Yeah, basically everything except the bathroom and kitchen right now is being painted. So those are big areas. And then our lovely, lovely, lovely spacious kitchen. I do have to do some tidying in these cabinets and like a deep clean in this guy, because we store all our spices in there and a mess has happened in there that I have yet to clean. All our cabinets need a polishing, so that'll happen at some point. And then I'm planning on putting grandmother's china. Oh, there's something in there. Anyways, I'm gonna planning on putting everything in here as well as these top shelves. So that'll happen. Otherwise the kitchen is pretty self-explanatory, but yes, the kitchen does need some painting because, like, you know, stuff like this. It's just still random nails and screws left behind by the previous owner. Look at these scuffs. Just not even scuffs, just like the paint went away. And then it's like super dirty back here. As much as I wipe back here, it just, there's like new stains, and I know it's not us because we cook on the stove. I have no idea what's going on in this general area that the walls are stained. So kitchen painting is on standby, but definitely that's something that needs to happen in the future. And that is basically it. So by the end of the weekend, I definitely want to at least have like this fully resolved. So finally unpack and put away my grandmother's china, assemble the IKEA furniture, and get organizing. The bookcases here should also be resolved by the end of the weekend, and I'll probably start applying drywall where needed, because I feel like prepping for painting takes even more time than the actual painting. And I really hope that is enough painter's tape. We only got like a pack of 3 rolls. They did have an option of 6 rolls, but it was kind of pricey. But we have a lot of space, so hopefully the 3 rolls will do it. If anything, there's a hardware store nearby that I can hopefully pick up some more painting tape, yes. Look at this guy, he's looking so good. Oh my God, I have to order a higher pole for this guy. He's so tall, but he's been doing great with his little pole. He's looking a little wilted actually. I watered him the other day. I'm not sure what's wrong with him. So I hope that tour made sense to everyone and that we all have a good idea of everything that needs to happen in the great apartment refresher of 2021. I'm definitely glad that we got the IKEA shopping done because like I remember last year when I moved here, we had saved the IKEA shopping for like when I had moved in. By then there was like a lot of things sold out because, you know, the students were coming back to Boston for the semester, as well as, you know, all the shipments being delayed because of the pandemic. It's still going on. And I will definitely bet money that the same situation is going to happen this year because all the schools are saying that they're going to resume getting back to normal and having students in the classroom. So the population of Boston is going to just be filled with students that are going to go to IKEA and get some things. And I'm glad that I secured the 3 things that I needed. My goal is definitely to have the apartment done and totally refreshed and ready to go by September when our lease renews. I think it's definitely a reasonable, attainable, and flexible timeline. So I don't think I'll let myself down. Things would have to be like ridiculous for me to not make that timeline, but I can just envision it now. It is September 1st. The apartment is in great condition. Everything looks great. It feels great. I have a sense of accomplishment, and I'm just sending all those good vibes to all the new residents of Boston when they come back in September. Like I'm expecting that wave of just students like, we're here. All right, right now I'm going to get my mind off the apartment and into some schoolwork. I'm gonna make some green juice now. I love me some green juice, especially with a lot of celery. Oh, yes, so good. And then I'm gonna make a pizza later for husband and I. And by pizza, I just mean like flatbreads. And I'm not sure how much I talked about this semester already, but I do have just 2 classes, thank goodness. Usually I have like 3. This semester I only have 2. My 2 classes are sound design and like editing in the studio, which is kind of like an editing techniques workshop. Not workshop. You're editing. You're learning how to like edit a thing and dealing with like producers and directors and stuff. I think that's the goal of that teacher. These classes are on Tuesday and Wednesday. So Tuesday is sound design, Wednesday is the editing class. I have heard other classmates talk about the sound editing class, and apparently it's a lot of work. So I definitely need to take a look at that because our first deadline is on Tuesday and it is Friday, and I'm like almost deafened this year. So anyways, I definitely need to like take an actual look at the sound design assignments and then, you know, get a good place on it, organize, download whatever software needs to be downloaded. He did not mention Adobe Audition. For some reason, he mentioned Avid Pro Tools and something else that I can't even remember because I've never heard of it in my entire life. But everyone that I had talked to was like, don't even bother with Pro Tools. 1, it's expensive. 2, you can't find anything. 3, the school gives you the Adobe suite, so just use Audition. So I'm gonna use Audition for my sound design class. I realized that I talk a lot in these dang videos. I'm not sure why. I remember when my weekly vlogs would just be like clips of my life with like lo-fi aesthetic music in the background, and maybe every once in a while I'll chit chat. But now it's just like I ramble so much. I don't know where this comes from. Sometimes I think I should start a podcast. I don't even listen to podcasts, but yes, a podcast. Maybe let's see how this sound design class goes, and then we'll consider the podcast idea, because I really make you guys sit through it, don't I? for the, handful of you who actually watch these things. All right, so enough chit chat from me. I'm going to make the juice, get started on the schoolwork, and turn the AC back on. It's starting to get stuffy in here. Remember, it's like a whole heat wave outside. Oh my god, I am dripping in freaking sweat. But yay, I built a thing. Oh my god, I look like death right now. Oh. All right, one chaotic mess later, and we have ourselves a much better organized coat closet slash utility closet. I can totally speak. So it looks pretty self-explanatory. On the shelves, I put like all our paper products, toilet paper, paper towels, tissues. The iron, it definitely helps to conceal the toilet paper. It's a little embarrassing walking in being like, oh, that's your toilet paper stash, but it looks pretty good. And this shelving unit also helps to keep in place all of these other big items, such as my ironing board, step ladder, extra chairs, drying racks, all that nice stuff. Look at this door, right? It's supposed to be white on the outside, but our theory is they've messed up with the doorknob. I don't even the things wrong with this apartment like does not end. I did manage to squeeze some other stuff like on the way other side. There's just some random things that we were told to keep, like a broken window blind. I also have a bag of dirt in there. Yeah, it's somewhere back there. I've managed to squeeze them in. The only things that I couldn't really accommodate were this bag of plastic bags. I like to use these plastic bags to line the bathroom bin. And then these two planters, this plant stand and this planter. These were on the floor and now they don't fit. So I have to either let go of them or find a place for them in the otherwise quickly filling up apartment. And then moving on, my husband, he assembled the new bookcase yesterday. And then yesterday I dedicated the evening to getting everything over here, straightening everything out. So I have on the top shelf all my Alice in Wonderland books. And then here, my Royal Diary. Yeah, the Royal Diary series from the Dear America. And then some huge books, as well as all my Vogues that I probably should have canceled that subscription because I don't really read it anymore, but I guess they're fun to have. And then we also put in extra shelves. So now each case has 2 extra shelves. And I really love how, like, I have this cute little nook in like the middle of it. See that? See that? I'm not sure if you could tell that 2 extra shelves are in there, but I think you can because like everything just kind of seems more cramped together. Some places are just too short for the height of the books. Like for example, this guy's just not fitting there. That's why I have them stacked and not in line, whereas these guys fit perfectly. Same deal all across the board. I think I'm gonna use this space to hold documents. I wanna get a nice file box to, you know, you guessed it, store some files that I'd like to store. I have got to vacuum this place. I vacuumed the other day, and of course I already need to vacuum, especially the front, which is a hot mess. Here's like all the ugly plastic bags that everything came in. There is just plastic debris everywhere from when I had to freaking hammer the plastic into the metal. It was a mess. I should probably take this down to recycling. Also this like freaking bubble wrap was in this closet. I don't remember where he came from, but I had him stored in this closet. We really should have donated it to the friend who just recently moved to Connecticut, but too late now. I'm not sure if it'll be worth our while to hang on to it either, because we don't see ourselves moving out here for quite a bit. Maybe I can squeeze him somewhere in here, but really he's pending. And then these plastic baggies will most likely go in one of these little cubbies as soon as I reorganize everything. It's not super chaotic, like we have an idea where everything is, but it really does need some fine tuning in there. Yeah, it's always a big mess before it looks great. So